Howard Stark. So we're going to get a What If series, completely animated, and it's not going to be connected to the MCU as it's obviously taking the reverse of outcomes that we've seen so far, but it's still going to be a fun animated series set in the MCU, and it's unclear whether, as Kevin Feige alluded to, that Peggy Carter episode, it's unclear whether we're going to see Chris Evans voice Steve Rogers in that one, but I would imagine so, as an animated episode. Voice acting doesn't take too much, and if Disney really is all in on this, it shouldn't be a problem getting Chris Evans to come back and voice that. Nonetheless, it's going to be a very fun animated series. Probably imagining the episodes won't be too long. I wouldn't be surprised if they are the 45-50 minutes, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they're around 20 minutes in terms of the traditional short length animated episodes as we see on television. And if all that Marvel talk wasn't enough to convince you, we are going to get a lot of Star Wars content on this streaming service, including The Mandalorian. And this comes from TVGuide.com. The MCU isn't the only franchise expanding by way of Disney+. One of the most exciting things to come out of the new service is the introduction of some all-new Star Wars properties, the first of which is a live-action show called The Mandalorian. Jon Favreau is an executive producing this series and revealed that it will center on a galaxy not so far away as far as fans are concerned. After the story of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travels of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. So yes, another exclusive series that's coming to Disney Plus is The Mandalorian. And if you're not unsure what a Mandalorian is, it's basically the race and warrior that same as Boba Fett and Jango Fett from the original trilogy and the prequels. And so this is going to be set in between episode 6 and episode 7, as is said in the basic synopsis, and is going to basically follow a Mandalorian. It's basically going to be a bounty hunter type series set in the Star Wars universe, which is extremely enticing. It's going to star Game of Thrones alumni Pedro Pascal, alongside Nick Nolte, Gina Carano from Deadpool, Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, that's Gus from Breaking Bad if you were unaware, Emily Swallow from Supernatural, Carl Weathers from Rocky, Omid Abti, I apologize if I butchered that name, from American Gods, and Werner Herzog from Grizzly Man. An all-star cast as well as an all-star production team attached to this, as Jon Favreau, anything he touches seems to turn to gold these days, as we've seen him direct Iron Man 1 and 2, two beloved MCU movies, maybe not so much Iron Man 2, but he basically started the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He directed the live-action Jungle Book as well as the upcoming reboot of The Lion King, and he also directed what I regard as one of the best Christmas movies of all time, Elf. So Jon Favreau, a career obviously making a ton of hits, and I don't think The Mandalorian is going to be any different. And if you aren't enticed by that Star Wars news, a second Star Wars series is also in development. They plan to revive Diego Luna's Cassian Andor from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, for a prequel series that will follow Cassian Andor before his time on that fateful mission where unfortunately he did lose his life. And yes, Alan Tudyk will be back as the fan favorite K2SO. So we're going to be getting another prequel-esque series going through Diego Luna's Cassian Andor, which is extremely interesting because he wasn't necessarily all good or all bad, and I think it's going to follow a fun journey for him. If you are a fan of the Clone Wars animated series, it is coming back on Disney+. After its 5th season concluded on Cartoon Network, the series enjoyed a 6th season on Netflix, but it has not featured any new episodes since 2014, and at San Diego Comic-Con last year, a new season was announced for Disney Plus's original programming. So this got everyone excited as they're finally going to finish the Clone Wars and tie a nice bow on it, but if you want to watch it, you got to subscribe to Disney Plus. Another exclusive is Lady and the Tramp, the latest live-action remake from Disney. If you're enjoying those movies such as Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, The Jungle Book, Aladdin, Dumbo, all these movies getting remade in live-action form, Lady and the Tramp will be the latest to get rebooted, and that's going to be exclusively on Disney Plus. Disney owns a lot in the entertainment world beyond Marvel, Star Wars, and their original programming. They also own National Geographic, and that will be available as well, including the Academy Award-winning Free Solo. That will be available on launch day. Over 250 films and documentaries from National Geographic. This also includes two original series created specifically for the streaming service. Jeff Goldblum will host The World According to Jeff Goldblum, in which he explores mysteries close to his heart. The second series is Magic of the Animal Kingdom, which will go behind the scenes of Disney's Animal Kingdom Park and the Epcot Aquarium at Disney World to show what goes into caring for animals at the world's most iconic theme park. Some old favorites are also going to get extensions. Disney plans to introduce a new series based on Monster Inc. called Monsters at Work, which will return the voices of John Goodman and Billy Crystal as Sully and Mike. The Disney Channel hit series High School Musical will also get new life, while getting a very meta documentary style series called High School Musical: The Musical. It's going to star Joshua Bassett as a junior named Ricky. It is unclear whether any of the originals from High School Musical will return, but nonetheless, we will be getting more content in terms of that. Beyond that, if you're a fan of the sports side of Disney, there's a potential TV reboot of The Mighty Ducks. They are also reportedly eyeing reboots for The Muppets, Father of the Bride, The Parent Trap, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The Mighty Ducks, one of the most popular sports movies of all time, fan favorite, beloved, and the fact that we could get a TV reboot should be enough to entice some fans as well. Going on from that, we're also going to get a lot of unscripted original programming too. There's going to be Super Clubs from Variety, documentary expert Super Club, the trio behind Chef's Table and 13th, will create original content for the streaming platform, including a series centered on culture called Marvel's 616 and wildlife conservation-based Earth Keepers. A Love, Simon TV series is also in the works. In recent memory, Disney actually shut down Fox 2000, which made beloved movies such as Love, Simon, and why is the name escaping me? The Fault in Our Stars, Hidden Figures, movies like that. Disney actually did shut down Fox 2000, but it is good to see that they are going to breathe new life into movies such as that on Disney Plus with a TV series. Love, Simon, one of the more popular films from last year. Variety reports that Disney Plus is developing a TV series based on the title, and it's going to focus on the story of a gay teen struggling to come out to his friends and family. And while plot details are scarce, it does look like TV Goliath Greg Berlanti will executive produce the movie, who will be involved in the project. Very interesting to see Berlanti attached, as he's heavily involved in a lot of the DC TV shows such as Arrow and Flash. So it's interesting to see Disney kind of swaying a DC heavily involved person onto their side. Obviously, Greg Berlanti is not tied down by the DC properties, but he is able to kind of sway back and forth, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with a Love, Simon TV series. Again, fans of sports, you're in luck. The Sandlot is getting turned into a series. Disney Plus is in the early development of stages with turning Sandlot into a series, and Deadline reports it will star the original cast as adults. The series will be set in 1984 when the gang all have children of their own, but it's unclear as of now how many of the original cast members have signed on to star. This is big because while a lot of their reboots involve, focusing on the title but telling a new story, as we see with the High School Musical reboot, as we're likely not going to see people like Zac Efron return to the series, The Sandlot is going to continue the story of the original. So if you are a fan of the original Sandlot, who isn't, you're in luck, as the original cast looks to be returning. As it did say, unclear how many are going to return, but it's going to be a series that focuses on them as adults. So a continuation of the original beloved movie. And finally, The Simpsons are going to join Disney Plus. In the wake of the Disney-Fox merger, The service will be the exclusive home for all 30 seasons of The Simpsons. So with that being said, that is basically all you need to know about Disney Plus. And now it is time for me to tell you if you should subscribe or not. And as I did allude to you at the beginning, and I basically gave it away, yes, you should absolutely subscribe. There are so many streaming services these days, and I get it that people are kind of getting sick of it. I'm getting kind of sick of it as well. CBS All Access is one of those ones that came out very recently. I believe it launched within the past month, and their big selling point was the Twilight Zone reboot. We also have streaming services for a lot of different TV networks. I believe TBS and TNT have a streaming service, as well as other channels. We have Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Everyone has Netflix at this point. I feel like no one is really thinking about canceling their Netflix subscription, but as we see, a lot of these streaming services are moving towards original content and promoting that because they want to basically say this is the exclusive place you can get this kind of content. And Disney, the reason that they have a leg up on stuff like CBS All Access is they have the ability to remove their original content from streaming services within the next year, which is going to be a big selling point for Disney Plus. And another big selling point is their ability to create original series based on beloved characters. While Netflix has to focus on creating new stories, which obviously is not a bad thing, we love to see new characters and new plots evolve from different mediums, whether they be streaming services, TV in general, or the cinema. We've seen Netflix forced to think of content such as Stranger Things, where we have a completely original story set in the 80s with sci-fi and all different types of nostalgia. Marvel, under Disney, now has the ability to take their beloved characters and take them a step further. So when we see streaming services, streaming shows for characters such as Loki, Scarlet Witch and Vision, Winter Soldier and the Falcon, as well as Hawkeye, that's, I feel, is enough to get me to subscribe. If we're going to break down the pricing and why it's worth it or not, $6.99 a month. That makes it one of the cheapest streaming services available. Netflix is well over $10 a month for the minimum package at this point, as well as Amazon Prime. Most people do the yearly subscription in order to get the benefits of the free 2-day shipping for most of their products. Hulu, I believe, is $10 a month, but Disney launching with $6.99 makes it one of those streaming services where a lot of people are going to say, $7 a month, I can easily afford that. Do not be fooled, though. This is a tentative start price, and I do not believe it will stay like that forever. I believe eventually they will hike up the price, and we will see it as $10 or $12 eventually. That's why I am, personally, when this launches, I am going to do the $70 yearly subscription. When you divide it out, that comes out to a little under $6 a month. You're not saving that much more money. You are saving, I believe, $14 for the year, but I want to subscribe to $70 just in case they do boot it up maybe $1 or $2 a month within the first year of launch. That way I'm safe, and I've already paid the $70 for the year, and I'm all good. Also, who wants to worry about a bill every month? I say just pay for it once around. It comes out in November, so subscribe around Christmas time, and you're good for the entire year. If you want to break down pricing, $70 a month, you divide that by how much movie tickets cost these days. My Avengers Endgame ticket cost me $20 because I'm planning to see it in IMAX. As the Russo brothers say, it's the way to see it. $20 is very expensive for a single movie ticket, as when the movie comes out on home video, you can buy it for around $20. And that's very interesting because this movie will be on Disney Plus immediately when it's available for home video. And while a lot of people love physical media, and I'll probably buy it on Blu-ray just to have it in its hard copy in my hands and have it on the shelf and all that, the fact that you can watch it as many times as you want for $70 for the full year, as well as the entire MCU, that is very much well worth it. And if you already have seen all the Marvel movies and you don't feel the need to watch them again, the series alone are enough to subscribe. 4 new Marvel series. Divide that by the $70. That comes out to less than $20 per series. So a movie ticket per series is what it's going to cost you for this streaming service, and that's only if you're going to watch the 4 new MCU shows. If you also want to factor in all the new original content